Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Ram Sankirtan ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Narayanam Namaskritya. Naram Chaiva Narottamam. Devim Saraswatim Vyasam. Tato Jayamudiraye. Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavatir Uttama Shloke. Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. We're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 8, Prayers by Queen Kunti, Shloka number 36. Shranvanti Gayanti Grananta Bhikshanas. Smaranti Nandanti Tavehitam Janaha. Tayeva Pashyanti Achirena Tavakam. Bhava Pravaho Paramam Padambujam. Shrinvanti Gayanti Grananta Bhikshana. Abhikshanasaha. Okay. Smaranti Nandanti Tavehitam Janaha. Tayeva Pashyanti Achirena Tavakam. Bhava Pravaho Paramam Padambujam. Shrinvanti Gayanti Grananta Bhikshanasa. Smaranti Nandanti Tavehitam Janaha. Tayeva Pashyanti Achirena Tavakam. Bhava Pravaho Paramam Padambujam. Shrinvanti. Hear, Gayanti, chant, Grananti, take, Abhikshanasaha, continuously, Smaranti, remember, Nandanti, take pleasure, Tava, your, Ihitam, activities, Janaha, people in general, they, Eva, certainly, Pashyanti, can see, Achirena, very soon, Tavakam, your, Bhava Pravaha, the current of rebirth, Uparamam, cessation, Pada Ambujam, lotus feet. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Translation: O Krishna, those who continuously hear, chant, and repeat your transcendental activities, or take pleasure in others doing so, certainly see your lotus feet, which alone can stop the repetition of birth and death. Purport: the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna cannot be seen by our present conditional vision. In order to see him, one has to change his present vision by developing a different condition of life full of spontaneous love of Godhead. When Sri Krishna was personally present on the face of the globe, not everyone could see him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Materialists like Ravana, Hiranyakashipu, Kamsa, Jarasandha, and Sishupal were highly qualified personalities by acquisition of material assets, but they were unable to appreciate the presence of the Lord. Therefore, even though the Lord may be present before our eyes, it is not possible to see Him unless we have the necessary vision. This necessary qualification is developed by the process of devotional service only. Beginning with hearing about the Lord from the right source, the Bhagavad Gita is one of the popular literature which are generally heard, chanted, repeated, etc., by the people in general. But in spite of such hearing, etc., sometimes it is experienced that the performer of such devotional service does not see the Lord eye to eye. The reason is that the first item, Shravana, is very important. If hearing is from the right sources, it acts very quickly. Generally, people hear from unauthorized persons. Such unauthorized persons may be very learned by academic qualifications, but because they do not follow the principles of devotional service, hearing from them becomes a sheer waste of time. Sometimes the texts are interpreted fashionably to suit their own purposes. Therefore, first one should select a competent and bona fide speaker and then hear from him. When the hearing process is perfect and complete, the other processes becomes automatically perfect in their own way. There are different transcendental activities of the Lord, and each and every one of them is competent to bestow the desired result, provided the hearing process is perfect. In the Bhagavatam, the activities of the Lord begin from his dealings with the Pandavas. There are many other pastimes of the Lord in connection with his dealings with the Asuras and others. And in the 10th canto, the sublime dealings with his conjugal associates, the gopis, as well as with his married wives at Dwaraka are mentioned. Since the Lord is absolute, there is no difference in the transcendental nature of each and every dealing of the Lord. But sometimes people in an unauthorized hearing process take more interest in hearing about his dealings with the gopis. Such an inclination indicates the lusty feelings of the hearer. So, a bona fide speaker of the dealings of the Lord never indulge in such hearings. One must hear about the Lord from the very beginning, as in the Srimad Bhagavatam or any other scripture, and that will help the hearer attain perfection by progressive development. One should not therefore consider that his dealings with the Pandavas are less important than his dealings with the gopis. We must always remember that the Lord is always transcendental to all mundane attachments. In all the above mentioned dealings of the Lord, He is the hero in all circumstances, and hearing about Him or about His devotees or combatants is conclusive to spiritual life. Conducive to spiritual life. It is said that the Vedas and Puranas, etc., are all made to revive our lost relationship with Him. Hearing of all these scriptures is essential. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha namo mahavadanyaya krishna prema pradayate कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी अनुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So it is in continuation to the previous shloka where Kunti Devi was mentioning about one of the reasons for the Lord's appearance is to rejuvenate the process of devotional service. So, which is by the process of hearing, remembering, worshipping, and so on. So that the conditioned soul who are suffering in the pangs of material existence can take advantage of this and gain liberation. So, and here so it is last time we discussed in detail about how this process of devotional service is so potent and so amazing, and especially of them the hearing and Shravanam and Kirtanam, and especially amongst them the Shravanam is like really really very powerful. And in today's purport also Srila Prabhupada mentions that any one of the devotional services, the Navaveda Bhakti is competent enough to deliver a person. It's competent enough to actually bring a person to perfection. But then, please, like, you can keep it little distance. A lot of flies are coming actually. So, all of these things are quite competent, but these all things will have its life only when the hearing process is perfect. That Srila Prabhupada is establishing very nicely. So, like any one of the devotional service, any one of the angas of bhakti can give us perfection, but then it depends on the process of hearing. So if hearing Shravanam is there, in combination with that, other processes can help. So but without Shravanam, only other processes cannot help us to that great extent. So okay. So now in today's shloka, Shranvanti Gayanti Grinanti Abhikshana. Abhikshana means continuously, constantly, constant remembrance, and Smaranti, and then Nandanti takes pleasure. So, like one has to, if a person is taking pleasure in hearing about, chanting about, and remembering the Lord, constantly, all the time, right? So, and he takes pleasure in such activities, right? So, for them, what happens? Tavehitam Janaha. So Tavehitam is on the activities of the Lord, and Janaha, people in general. Te eva pashyanti achirena thavakam bhava prava ho paramam padambujam. So only they can, te eva pashyanti, only they can actually see. Achirena is very soon, and thavakam, your bhava pravaha uparamam. So like the thing that actually stops the cycle of birth and death, what is that? So that is the padambujam, so the lotus feet of the Lord. So one who constantly takes pleasure in hearing about, remembering, and like performing the devotional activities, and one who constantly performs them and he takes pleasure in them, so such a person only can see the lotus feet of the Lord, which is capable of stopping the repetition of birth and death, right? O Krishna, those who continuously hear, chant, and repeat your transcendental activities, or take pleasure in other things, take pleasure in others doing so, certainly see your lotus feet, which alone can stop the repetition of birth and death. Right? So this is a very nice shloka. So purport, the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna cannot be seen by our present conditional vision. In order to see him, one has to change his present vision by developing a different condition of life full of spontaneous love of Godhead. Right? So where is this reference from? Like Brahma Samhita? Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena, no Santa Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti. So a sadhu, no, a santa, no, he can actually continuously see the Supreme Lord because his eyes are anointed with the ointment of prema. So only such person can see. So in the current vision, so we have been discussing this example of seeing through the window. So when we see through the window, so like what we see is in the darkness, like we see only pitch dark. So as the light comes, our vision actually changes. Our perception actually changes. So in the same way, as the love for the Supreme Lord arises in the heart, so then the vision actually comes to see the Lord, or the knowledge aspect arises in the heart. So then, we'll be able to see the Lord. Otherwise, what happens, even if the Lord were to present himself, before us, so which is, there is nice examples that are given. When Sri Krishna was personally present on the face of the globe, not everyone could see him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Krishna himself also says, Naham Prakasha Sarvasya Yogamaya Samavrita. So I am covered by the Yogamaya, and I don't reveal myself to everyone. Right? So even though he may personally be present, but still he reserves the right to reveal himself. He doesn't reveal himself to everybody. And materialists like Ravana, Hiranyakashipu, Kamsa, Jarasandha, and Shishupal were highly qualified personalities by acquisition of material assets, but they were unable to appreciate the presence of the Lord. Right? So even though the Lord was there present before them, so they could not able to appreciate that this is the Supreme Lord. So this holds true for the holy name, the Mahaprasadam, the deity, the temple, anything that is connected to the Lord. So we will not be able to access them just by brute force. No, it is not possible. Just because the vibration is there, the sound vibration is there, we will be able to access them. It is not possible. So this Naham Prakasa Sarvasya is always true. And then like other shloka that we constantly remember in this connection. Ata Shri Krishna Namadi Nabhavet Grahyam Indriyai. So just by our material senses, we cannot access the Supreme Lord. The way to access the Supreme Lord is Sevon Mukhehi Jivado Swayameva Spuratyada. So we have to render service to the Supreme Lord, and we have to we have to depend on the mercy of the Lord to reveal himself. That's the formula actually. So here also we see that many great highly qualified personalities by the material calculation, like Hiranyakashipu, Kamsa, Jarasandha, and personalities like that. So even they had acquired, they had performed a lot of tapasya, they had performed there is in the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a nice shloka is there. That Shukadeva Goswami's glorification before he starts reciting Bhagavatam, there he mentions what is the use of tapasya, this, that, and all, like if you cannot remember the Supreme Lord in that, so then it is not of great value. Anybody remember that shloka? It comes in that same section as Kirata Hunandra Pulinda Pulkasha. So in that same section it actually comes. It's a very nice this one. So it is not possible, the essential ingredient, the essential thing that actually makes one's activities glorious is the remembrance of the Lord. So in fact, even our sadhana, so how much it is effective, it is the essential remembrance of the Lord, how much we remember the Lord. So throughout our chanting session, हम कुछ भगवान को सोचा ही नहीं. And then that's of very feeble value, it is of not much of value of such chanting. So remembrance of the Lord is a key thing that actually makes it gives life to all the processes. So now we see Hiranyakashipu, Kamsa, Jarasandha, Shishupal, all of them, or Ravana. So these personalities, they had performed a lot of tapasya. They were in some angle we can say Vedagya also. They know all the scriptures inside out, and many of them were Brahmanas. So and very, very highly qualified, but still, even though the Lord were there in front of them, so they could not able to access the Lord. So that's a very important principle, that further paragraph, like Prabhupada is actually focusing on another angle. So that is, hearing from the right source. So even if the right source is there, so right attitude also must be there. Like this, Srila Prabhupada mentions in the Nectar of Instruction, preface or introduction to Nectar of Instruction, he mentions that the advancement of the, what is that? Advance. Advancement depends on the attitude of the follower, right? So that attitude is also very, very important. So that is this one. You found that shloka? Tapasvino dana para yasasvino manasvino mantra vidasu mangala chemam navindati Vinaya Darpanam. So Shemam Navindati Vinaya Darpanam. So you will not get the benefit, like tapasvino, dana para yasasvino. So you may be like very, very good in tapasya, or like giving charity, or like chanting mantras and things like that. But unless it is not offered for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord, so shemam na vindati, you will not get the benefit of that whole thing. So here also we see that these great personalities, they had performed many, many austerities, many tapasya and things like that, but they have not done it for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. So, Shemam na vindati. Like, what is the benefit of all these things? Finally, like Vasudeva Sarvamati, that's the point. But even if Vasudeva were to come in front, they could not able to find Vasudeva in Vasudeva. So then what to speak about finding Vasudeva in other elements? So it is not at all possible for them, right? So that's what is our condition also. We are also demons, in the garb of devotees. And we are not able to find Krishna even during chanting, like that's the position of the demons. And we are well within the definition of the demons, right? So even when Lord presents himself in front of them, so they cannot find him. So even if we are sitting with the holy name, so still we are not able to access, right? So that's because of our demoniac attitude, right? So therefore, even though the Lord may be present before our eyes, it is not possible to see him unless we have the necessary vision. And how do we get this necessary vision? So this necessary qualification is developed by the process of devotional service only, right? So now we see that devotional service means what? Hearing and chanting. And you are telling hearing and chanting, you cannot access them. How to access them? By performing devotional service. How to solve this riddle? How to solve this riddle?
In every activity, you might see Krishna.
You cannot see Krishna. That's the whole point. Okay.
We have to offer Lord. That's the thing. That's what the way we can do.
Yeah. So, like, it is not possible to access him, by this. But our whole goal, the goal is to access him. But what we are trying to do is not to access him, but just to render service to him. Right? So, Sevan Makehi Jivado Swayam Evaspuratyada. Right? So, we are not doing like, generally, if you ask a person, you are reading, what is the goal of this reading? Like, immediate goal of the reading is he wants to acquire knowledge. And for us, the remote goal of reading is we want to acquire the knowledge, and immediate goal is we want to render service to Krishna. Now, why do I read? No, because it is a service to Krishna. And then, don't you want knowledge? If Lord is pleased, he will reveal the knowledge. Right? So that is the way, we actually, take the process. So the process is to render service. Seva. That is very important. And when the Lord is pleased, he will reveal himself. So the process, the devotional service is very essential. This word service, is very, very essential. The like bhakti or bhajan, Krishna, Srila Prabhupada translates as devotional service. And that's based on this root meaning of the word also. And also this this definition that Sevan Vikehi Jivado Swayam Eva Spuratyada. Right? So when we render service, using our senses, we cannot access the Lord, but using our senses, we can render service to the Lord, and through which, if the Lord is pleased, he will reveal himself. That's the formula. So this, the seva must be started. So like the first seva that needs to be started is the process of hearing. So when the process of hearing is nicely done, as a service to the Supreme Lord, so then the Lord, starts revealing Himself, and more He reveals, the vision becomes like more and more perfect. And when the Lord reveals Himself, very very perfectly, so then that becomes the love of Godhead, and in that state we will be able to perceive the Lord very nicely, right? So it's all depends on the revelation of the Lord, and the revelation of the Lord has to come means it's all depends on the like attitude and the way we want to way we are rendering service to the Supreme Lord, right? So this is the culture that we are trying to understand and to put into practice, right? So that brings us the necessary qualification. So ultimately the qualification is depending on the mercy of the Lord, right? So if somebody is able to what is that, somebody is very humble, we say that he is very humble and his attitude is very good, and then we say like no Prabhu, you are so nice, and then he may respond saying that no, it's all mercy of the Lord, so then what is his role and what is the role of the Lord? It becomes sometimes confusing. So the aspect is that a devotee desires to be in a better situation. The devotee desires to have a better vision, but he tries to render service to the Supreme Lord. The credit of the devotee is that he has he has diligently wanted to render service and to please the Lord, and the credit goes to the Lord that He has awarded the vision, He has awarded the advancement of the devotee, right? So a devotee is able to be so humble, or devotee is able to like be tolerant, or devotee is able to chant the names of the Lord nicely. It is all by the mercy of the Lord, and without the mercy of the Lord, it's not possible to display such qualities. So but what is the is that the qualification of the devotee, that he is able to chant nicely? So what is his qualification? He has somehow or other pleased the Lord. Whether he has pleased the Lord or some devotee has prayed for him, whatever it is, like something, finally the Lord has become pleased with him and He has blessed him. So the form, the blessings of the Lord can be understood by the way of how much nicely he is attached to the holy name of the Lord, the Bhagavatam, or to the service of the Lord and things like that, or to the deity of the Lord and things like that. So in that way we can actually see that somehow or other, this person has become the object of mercy of the Supreme Lord, right? So here we see that this necessary qualification, so we need to render service for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord, so like that has to be started. So even if we are not able to do it spontaneously, so that very same thing is made into a regulation, and the etiquettes when it is followed, and then when we indulge in the now with the bhakti as a rule, as a procedure, so then slowly we start getting the advancement. So here Srila Prabhupada is mentioning, so one of the bona fide source of hearing, or bona fide subject matter of hearing, is Bhagavad Gita. He just takes for an example. So Bhagavad Gita is a popular literature and generally heard, chanted and repeated. So and many places Bhagavad Sapta also happens. Bhagavatam is also a subject matter that is heard, chanted and repeated. But why is that people are not transforming? Why is that still people not able to see the Lord eye to eye? So for us, what does it mean, see the Lord eye to eye? Means our practical level, how we want to see the Lord? Hearing the holy name diligently, right? So and many spiritual masters also say that dhyan purvak jap karna. Whose statement it is? Gosh Maharaj. He keeps telling this. So this is very important, that's at least when they chant, they should be able to hear the names clearly. So that is if our hearing process is good, if our shravanam is good, so then why are we not able to access the Lord? So then Prabhupada is here one aspect Prabhupada is focusing, that is the source of hearing is wrong. Source of hearing is from professional reciters and people who are not devotees. From them we hear. So then it is not going to have effect. So then what other aspects can be there for this? What other aspects can be there? If manlo ki hearing is from the right source. So what other aspects could be there? Why transmission is not happening? Not following, not having sufficient faith in the subject matter, right? So, like not putting faith in the subject matter. Okay. Anything else?
Prarabdha Prabhuji, previous life misdeeds.
Prarabdha karma. Okay. It can have a minute effect, but it cannot have, material things cannot have no significant effect on the spiritual advancement. So that's not a major this one.
Having ulterior motives for
Having ulterior motives. Okay. Even that also, if, yeah, that slows down the process. But if still he keeps hearing from the bona fide source for a long time, so then the watch, the person who came to steal the watch of Srila Prabhupada, hearing Prabhupada, like he become devotee. So, yeah, so like bona fide source is a very major, very major this one. So if you keep hearing, no, it makes a lot of difference. One thing is we should not be offensive towards that source, no. So like any material things, other material things are okay, accommodated. No, maybe the process, this one kickstart will be little slow, but then once it starts, then it will purify very soon. No, because the spiritual current is so powerful, no material power can stand in front of it. No, any amount of karma, any amount of sinful activities, it cannot stand in front of it. No, it just sweeps off. So, but then if offensive attitude is there, so offense means it is something that is like. Offense towards that source or offense towards any spiritual entities, that actually spoils the game actually. So then the spiritual current cease to function over there. So like source should be right and the proper etiquette must be maintained. It should be non-offensive, this one. That's why if you see like during the initiation also, it is what has been asked, like indulge in the Navavida Bhakti, specifically chant 16 rounds and avoid committing offenses. So that's all. Like sinful activities also you should avoid. So but then if you cannot, so but still if you are doing the Shravanam properly or if you are doing the Bhakti properly without committing offenses, then the force of Bhakti is so powerful it can just make a person pious very soon. But then if offenses are there, then it becomes very, very difficult, right? So that's this one. And generally the offenses come from the anarthas and the improper understanding of the this one from ignorance. Primarily the anarthas actually come and then the offenses also come. So not able to understand, like basically if you analyze the offenses, that considering something material to be spiritual, that is like Devi Devatas to be on the equal level as the Supreme Lord, or considering the transcendental subject matter to be material, like considering the holy name of the Lord, which is transcendental, equating it to mundane, sound vibration, or giving some mundane interpretations, or equating it them to the karma kanda, things and things like that. So, or the source of where we get this importance of these things, it is from the scriptures and from the spiritual master and the sadhus, the Vaishnavas. So offending the Vaishnavas, offending the spiritual master, offending the scriptures, from where we get this information about this transcendental nature of the holy name. So then that also blocks the whole process, right? So in this way, like these offenses are of very important, this one. So if a devotee, if he doesn't know any of the philosophy, he just knows that God is great, and I should not offend the God. I should indulge in the subject matter of the God. This much if he knows all the philosophy. He knows everything. He knows everything to attain prema. Nothing else is needed for him. But if he doesn't know this, so like if we are affected by some aspect of the avidya, so then we have to treat that aspect of avidya. So we need to like sufficiently give logical substantiation that why this sound vibration is transcendental, why the Lord is Supreme Personality of Godhead, why scriptures are great, why we should like respect the scriptures, why we should respect the devotees and the spiritual master and things like that. So these all things have to be educated. So if the natural understanding is not there, so then when we avoid such offenses, so if our source is right and then if our attitude is right, so then the process has to work. So if the process is not working, kuch na kuch to problem hai. Some problem is there, so that needs to be fixed. So Okay, so now we see that from the unauthorized people and things like that, so that Srila Prabhupada is focusing on this purport further. And therefore, first one should select a competent and bona fide speaker and then hear from him. When the hearing process is perfect and complete, the other processes become automatically perfect in their own way. So if the hearing is not complete, so the corollary of that is, if the hearing is not complete, if the source is not right, if the attitude is not right, so he may do all kind of circus. No, he may do deity worship, he may be like memorizing all the shlokas, he may be expert in all the philosophy and things like that. But because his Shravanam is not perfect, all of these things doesn't have any this one, Shemam Navindati. No, it doesn't have its potency. So there are different transcendental activities of the Lord, and each and every one of them is competent to bestow the desired result. So now with the bhakti, each one of them, so this we have heard many times. So the seventh canto, that Shravanam Kirtanam Shloka, Srila Prabhupada actually quotes one nice shloka that like how various personalities attained perfection by performing one limb of bhakti. So that is also very nice shloka to memorize actually. 7th canto, 5th chapter. He mentions that Shri Krishna Shravane Parikshit okay, sorry. Shri Vishnu Shravane Parikshit Abhavad Vaya Shaki Kirtane Prahlada Smarane Tadangri Bhajane Lakshmi Prutu Pujane Akrurastva Abhivandane Kapipatir Dashetha Sakya Arjuna Sarvatma Nivedane Balir Abud Krishna Aptiresham Param. So this is like Shri Vishnu Shravane Parikshit. No, just by Shravanam, Parikshit Maharaj attained perfection. And Abhavad Vayasaki Kirtane. So Vayasaki is Vyasadev's son is called Vayasaki. So he is Shukadeva Goswami. He spoke, by Kirtana, he attained perfection. Prahlada Smarane. So like Prahlad, just by remembrance of the Lord. And Tadangri Bhajane, Lakshmi. Lakshmi is perfect by offering service to the lotus feet of the Lord. And Prutu Pujane. Prithu Maharaj by offering worship. And Akrurastva Abhivandane. So Vandana. So Vandana means prayers and offering obeisances also comes in the Vandana. So Akrurastva Abhivandane Kapipatir. Hanumanji. So Dasya. And then Sakya Arjuna. So the friendship, Arjuna actually perfected his relationship like that. And Sarvatma Nivedane. So that is like offering completely oneself. That is Bali. And then Krishna Aptiresham Param. So in this way, like, different personalities have like perfected their life by executing one of the limbs of bhakti. But we have to take it from the Acharya, like how to understand this particular this one. And Srila Prabhupada consistently keeps this opinion that if we are not perfecting our process of Shravanam, so all other processes, we cannot like make any progress. All other processes, though it is mentioned as individually they have contributed, but then still it must be accompanied by Shravanam, right? So chanting must be accompanied by simply chanting without hearing doesn't have effect. So the main component of chanting is that we should, like, I am trying to redefine this one, like 2 hours of hearing, not 2 hours of chanting, it's 2 hours of hearing. So now like 16 rounds of hearing, so then we know like how many rounds we are doing. बहुत साल लगेगा 16 वाला में आने में. So पहले like 2 बच्चे आते like प्रभु जी कितना माला जप रहे, अभी 4 माला में आया, अभी 6 माला like 16 माला में आ गया, तो फिर अभी डेफिनेशन चेंज करेंगे. Definition is कितना माला सुने हैं? अरे प्रभु एक माला भी नहीं सुना. तो फिर से जीरो से स्टार्ट करो. So then we'll create some program and yatra for people who are hearing 4 rounds, hearing 8 rounds. Right? So that is like very nice actually. Even if a devotee starts hearing 1 round, it's so amazing actually. You will go mad actually. Like if you start hearing 1 round also, it's like so amazing. So like लगेगा कि like इतना साल में जप ही नहीं किया. So it is so nice actually. Now initially, like if you see the initially new devotees, they come, they actually do Shravan wala chanting. So that's why they feel like so amazing bliss and things like that. And when they come and share realization, Prabhuji like आज chanting बहुत अच्छा था. And then हमारा chanting बहुत खराब चला. And then कभी-कभी devotee frustration में बोलता है chanting करते रहो सब bliss चले जाएगा. and the boy is like in puzzle, like he's asking Prabhuji कि ऐसे क्यों बोल रहे हैं? यही practical है, यही होने वाला है. So it is because of the offenses. Because of offenses, like when a person comes newly to Krishna consciousness, he has lot of respect to all the elements of Krishna consciousness, and because of which also like when new customer comes, like little discount and some attractive this ones are given, and old customer is like anyway like idhar hi pada rahega. Kya kar sakta hai uska. So like this one, this one is given, offer is given. Also it is accompanied by offenseless chanting, because new people, they don't know about offenses. They like chant very nicely. So but then when we become little bit familiar with these things, familiarity breeds contempt. So like we become offensive towards the elements of Krishna consciousness. So that's why the little dip that happens. So but then after some time, so we start recognizing the importance, and properly with knowledge, when we properly like offer respects to all the elements of Krishna consciousness, and then slowly again start gaining taste in the process of Krishna consciousness. So this is something very important. With knowledge, we should try to develop taste for the process of Krishna consciousness. And in the Bhagavatam, the activities of the Lord begin from his dealings with the Pandavas. So now the next section Prabhupada is focusing on. So you should not discriminate between various sections of Srimad Bhagavatam, or various aspects of the Supreme Lord. So the Lord is so nice and Lord is so wonderful. And there is one this pastime of this Krishna book reading to Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada used to hear the reading of Krishna book, and he sometimes used to be like so jolly reading Krishna book. And then devotees noticed that whenever there is killing of asuras, Prabhupada is like so happy. So then whenever Prabhupada used to ask to read, so one devotee was like he was turning the pages like anything to find some fighting pastime of Krishna. So but then Prabhupada asked like, why are you turning the pages so much? Like wherever you just open, just read. Krishna is like a sweet ball. Wherever you bite, he is sweet. So like don't take trouble even to turn the page. Sthane sthita shrutigata. Wherever you are, like just simply start reading and simply start the hearing process should start. So we should not even waste time even for that. So so that's why this bookmark is given, like not to find not to waste time. Straight away we come and then we start hearing. So so it is very important that we don't discriminate between of course there is transcendental discrimination is there about the intensity of the pastimes of the Vrindavan and the pastimes of the Pandavas and things like that. So but then for that discrimination to arise, it takes little more time. So not now. So it is it's reserved for much later period of time. At this point in time, the primary thing is purification. So the purification, all of these subject matters are quite competent to offer purification. So now in this material vision, or when we don't have complete spiritual vision, so that time we just try to discriminate between this no, this pastime is no more powerful, this pastime is, oh, this is like not very great, and things like that. So then it results in offense, and offensive indulgence in the bhakti will not allow the like shravanam, the subject matter, to act upon us, right? So then purification will not happen, so rather like we will regress. So that's why this is very, very essential. um, so there are many other pastimes of the Lord in connection with his dealings with asuras and others. And in the 10th canto, the dealings of conjugal pastimes are also there. And in the Dwaraka, pastimes are also there. Since the Lord is absolute, there is no difference in the transcendental nature of each and every dealing of the Lord, right? So this is very, very essential for us. For us at this level, it is very important that we don't have any difference between all these aspects, because our condition is that like it's like whichever stream of education you are supposed to go, still LKG, UKG, first standard, second standard is same only. Like I want to go to engineering, like अभी LKG में क्या करना है, वही ABCD पढ़ना है, और कुछ नहीं पढ़ना है. And there is no discrimination also, like so our this one is like here in our material education. So subject matter used to change. Every class we used to have different textbook. Like first standard different second textbook, second standard different textbook. Here in spiritual process, the textbook is the same. The lesson learnt is different. Or the effect that is produced is different. So like textbook is the same. Like even the like what is it? The Prema Bhakta, even he also reads the same Srimad Bhagavatam. And the person who's starting with Shraddha, he also reads the same Srimad Bhagavatam. So, but then the effect that produces is different. Classroom keeps changing, advancement keeps changing, but the textbooks and the subject matter remains the same. The holy name remains the same, right? So we don't need to do any different this ones. So for this, we generally take the example of a car driving. If you're driving car from one place to another, so we just need to like keep the accelerator on, and no proper time we have to put brake, and this one steering you have to adjust. That's all you have to do. And first milestone crossed, what else you have to do? Nothing. Same thing you have to do. And second milestone crossed, same thing you have to continue, right? And then like till the time you reach the goal. In the car example, like after you reach the goal, you stop it. But in this Krishna consciousness, after you reach the goal, like goal itself is to continuously perform these activities, right? So material examples cannot give the complete picture of the spiritual activities. So in this way, like we should not discriminate between these different pastimes of the Lord, and we should actually accept all these things as supremely auspicious, and we should be very, very grateful that Lord has allowed us an access to Srimad Bhagavatam, allowed us an access to holy name. So we should be very grateful, and we should indulge in them very nicely. And Srila Prabhupada is mentioning why we should not discriminate, because in all these dealings, the Lord is the hero in all circumstances. And hearing about him or about his devotees or combatants is conducive to spiritual life. Even the Nirbandhe Krishna Sambandha, even Hiranyakashipu, if we hear about the glories of Hiranyakashipu, it's so nice because he has some connection with Prahlad, and he has some connection with Narsinghadev. So even that purifies actually. Hearing about Ravana, his combatants, even that is conducive for our spiritual life, right? So anything that has a connection with Krishna, and we have the attitude to please Krishna, so then that subject matter actually purifies our heart. And it is said that the Vedas and Puranas, etc., are all made to revive our lost relationship with him. This Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami actually mentions that I don't remember that exact shloka. Says that the living entities are caught up in this one of ignorance, and like Vyasadeva, out of his great mercy, he has like given this Vedic literatures, so that the living entities can hear and then get liberated from the cycle of birth and death. So hearing of all these scriptures is essential. So with this, I pause today's discussion. Any questions or comments can take. Yes.
So one question I have, so like you were mentioning that the key aspect of our devotion activities is to please the Lord. So I have a question regarding So I have a question regarding reading when we are doing when we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita. So at that time, like if we do it in this attitude that I want to please the Lord, so like what are the other details to it? Like how we can say that yes, in this way if I do, then I will be it will be pleasing to the Lord. Some details about that.
So, okay, now when we take the process of reading and how we can actually do it in a nice way. So, like I had mentioned 2-3 different things in this connection. So, one is the pleasing the Lord, another is remembrance of the Lord, and then another is like seva, like being in the mood of service. So, like when we are trying to approach the scripture, and like one negative thing is not in the mood of extraction of information. So like that is something that we should have in the mind. So if we are in the mood of extraction of information, so then it's not in the mood of service. So like we may need certain information, but we should offer prayers to the Lord. Somehow this is the Vedic culture. So because of our too much what is that effect of the modern modern culture, so this has become lost. So if you see in the Vedic culture, like why is that the students used to go and offer obeisances to the teacher, and they used to give guru dakshina and things like that. So and they used to do some service also to the to the teacher and things like that. So the modern day is like we just throw some money on your face. You're a teacher, you should come and tell whatever you know, and like I'll understand. So I'll understand. I'm intelligent. I can understand. So like the Vedic process, even for material education, this process was very, very clear. I must render service, and by the pleasure of when my teacher becomes pleased with me, he will award the knowledge. So that was very, very clear. So like in that way, like we see that so for the process of reading and understanding, like we want to understand the Supreme Lord definitely, but not by the strength of our knowledge, not by the strength of our reading, so by the strength of our service, and by the means of pleasing the Lord. So that's how we want to like acquire the knowledge, right? So like now when we approach like rather than one is like approaching Bhagavatam only for preparing for the class. That's an offense to Bhagavatam. I would not say offense, but it's okay, but it's not sufficient to like it's not a sufficient endeavor that Bhagavatam will become pleased and reveal itself to us. So we should like have non-fruitive approach towards the reading, like whether I understand or not, or whether I have a class on that particular subject or not, whatever may be the case, my duty is to render service. My duty is to read Srimad Bhagavatam like a stipulated time. I will just simply do it. So it is in that way like we should try to do like non-fruitive. This one. That will help. And thinking of the pleasure of the Lord may sometimes be difficult, but then trying to do non-fruitive reading. Like why am I reading? Because like I'm a servant of the Lord, but then I don't have desire to serve the Lord. So the Lord has asked in the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, like if you cannot do spontaneous devotional service, then do regulated devotional service. Now I am not having any attraction to render service to the Lord. I'm not having any desire to please the Lord. But then I know that is what is going to help me. So, but because I lack that, I am just trying to do it in a systematic way. I'm just trying to allocate a time, and I'm going to spend time with Bhagavatam. And before and after, we have certain prayers. Like I desire that I may become attached to the Srimad Bhagavatam. I desire that I may develop intense attraction to the lotus feet of the Lord, or to the holy name of the Lord, and things like that. And then offering gratitude. I don't have any attraction, I don't have any qualifications to study Srimad Bhagavatam, but still I've been allowed this opportunity to do. So offering gratitude as a procedure. Like we may not naturally feel that, but as a procedure we may remember certain slokas, and we may offer these things by repeatedly offering these prayers and by a sincere effort. So even though we may not have the natural attraction, so by the by the mercy of the Lord, we will develop the natural attraction over a period of time, right? So like this procedurally, we should take it up. Sure. Any other questions, comments?
Hariksetra Prabhuji, thank you so much for class, Prabhuji. So you made a statement that you said that we don't want to access, but we want to render service to the Lord. The first process is hearing, you said. And generally, I heard Japa talk from you on saying that we access the Lord through ears. So, but here you said, you're not.
See, when we say we access, like the scriptural statements also we should understand in many different ways that has been mentioned. So if we say that the boss has given me salary, so it is true, but we can also say like the accountant has credited the salary to my account. It's not the boss is like sitting and doing the bank transactions and things like that. So like that, we have to access means immediately we should understand we have to render service and we should wait for the mercy of the Lord, to access. So that is understood. So the process when it is understood, so then after that you say like the boss has credited the salary, it is understood ki he has sanctioned it and koi to accountant credit kiya hoga, like that. Thanks.
Thank you very much for the nice class, emphasizing more on the Shravana. So with this one doubt I have. So when we talk about these new people who come in for the sessions, they chant very nice, they get very good experience also. So when they're chanting, so can we tell that they're completely out of all the offenses?
Because they don't know how to commit offenses. See, because they are ignorant, they are sinful. So you may be sinless, they may be sinful, but you have access for many spiritual objects, so which you have a choice to interact with them in a right way or wrong way. And they have very limited access to the spiritual subject because they only come on Saturday evening and the rest of the time they don't come. And they don't have a chance to commit offense. And in the Saturday evening when they come, everything they look at is everything is so great. And the limited access what they have, they have very reverential access to that. And that actually creates very favorable this one. So even though they may be sinful, they may be smoking, they may be eating non-veg or eating outside food and things like that. But still, they don't have offense. They don't have opportunity to commit offense. And because of that, they get very nice experience. Actually.
So when we see the second offense of the holy name, they're considering all the other demigods of the same. So if it's in the general public, so everyone has this thing. So everyone are same. So when you're chanting the holy names of the Lord also, Krishna, Hare Krishna.
So they don't have that strong conception also about that. Everyone are same supreme like that, they think. And it's not a subject matter they think about all the time. So they consciously hold a very strong opinion about it all the time. So it's very weak opinionated. It's not a very strong opinionated this one. And that's what they have heard and that's what they know. They're not very strong about that particular offense. Like that. So if they have a very strong conception, so then that may affect. And also these, even though they may have certain of these offenses, in a very light way, but still, what we are talking about is the initial bliss that actually comes. So that is with certain reduction of certain amount of offenses and little bit of offering of some service to the devotees and things like that, or giving careful oral reception and things like that. So weighing that these offenses little bit some rays of holy name may enter, and they're not actually experiencing Shuddhanam. That's not they're experiencing. They are experiencing some kind of Namabhas. Very little trace of Namabhas they are experiencing. Like that. So Namaparad is also there. So it is not that Namaparad and then after that ekdam se Namavas aayega. No. When the offenses reduces, like slight races, no, even then come. No, some experience of the holy name also no comes. Some bliss they will experience. No, like that.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So we hear that all the 9 links of devotional service are equally powerful, they are absolute. Still, we are telling that we have a special place for Shravanam, and all other processes has to accompany it by Shravanam. Why? So, although it is all other processes are absolute.
Yeah, like that's the version of the acharyas. So, like even I have also read Bhagavatam many times, but then in the recent readings, like it's coming again and again. So this particular subject, and no, I'm also wondering, like, no, how did I miss this? So one thing that we can see is, now if we render service, like physical service, no, for that matter, and if we don't have sufficient shravanam, so then the attitude no changes over a period of time. No, so like remembrance, like I have heard this particular this one from Banu Maharaj as remembrance of the Lord. So he was mentioning that essential remembrance of the Lord, no, is the our quality of sadhana depends upon the remembrance of the Lord. So you may do service no without remembering the Lord, so then you will get burnt out. No, so like it's the no remembrance of the Lord is the, if you are cooking, no, remembrance of the Lord is like the water content. No, pani khatam hoga to like niche lag jayega. You know, so like if you are rendering service and if you are not able to remember the Lord, matlab we are going to sooner or later we are going to feel the burnt out feeling. You know, jalne wala hai actually. So but then if our remembrance of the Lord is nice, even difficult service also we can take, still we will not get burnt out. No, so we will be able to sustain, and we will we will feel nice about doing that services. So but then like if the service is happening and remembrance of the Lord is not there, so then it becomes quite difficult. So but then remembrance, like in the Nectar of Instruction, one of the purports, Srila Prabhupada writes that the initial stage is called Shravana Dasha. So in that Dasha, so a lot of importance is given to Shravana. When Shravanam is like nicely done, so then it goes into Smarana. Like Smarana Dasha. Then naturally we are able to remember the Lord. So remembrance is going down. So we cannot do anything on the platform of remembrance. We have to come to the Shravana Dasha. We have to do Shravanam properly so that remembrance is there. If remembrance is there, all the services can go on nicely. If Lord's remembrance is not there, so then Shemam na Vindati, that's gone. And for creating that remembrance, sufficient Shravanam is necessary. That's how the Acharyas actually, consistently in many commentaries, I see that this is the formula to, gain the remembrance. And that's why Shravanam, Kirtanam, and then Smaranam comes. Smaranam, we cannot just like that, we cannot remember the Lord. So if we try to remember the Lord, the next moment sense object will pop up. So it's quite difficult. It is not possible. Okay, one quiz. How to control the mind? What is the answer that you would give? By engaging in Lord service. Then? By remembering the Lord. Then? Huh? By prayers. Huh? By chanting, okay.
Associating with those.
Okay, so now, Vacho Vegam, Manasa Krodha Vegam, so Mano Vega is there, and for that, what Acharya actually prescribes? For that. तो हम लोग बहुत एक्सपर्ट है, हम लोग दुकान में जाके, मेडिकल दुकान में जाके ये दवा अच्छा लग रहा है, कवर अच्छा लग रहा है, इसको दे दो, मैं खा के ठीक हो जाऊंगा. But then there is the expert doctor is also sitting and he is writing some prescription in the form of purport. And what does he actually prescribe?
Flickering of mind.
हाँ, flickering of mind. उसमें क्या होता है? क्या करना चाहिए? हाँ? प्रैक्टिस. ओके, प्रैक्टिस क्या प्रैक्टिस करना चाहिए? क्या, किस चीज को प्रैक्टिस करना चाहिए?
Depending on the Lord.
You see, we don't know the prescription only. So next time, we should see that, definitely all the answers that you told is almost right. In various occasions, this has also been mentioned. But specifically, in this particular shloka, Srila Prabhupada actually mentions about meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord. No, and in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita also, like no, Srila Prabhupada actually gives this particular this one, that Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vindayo. No, he actually mentions that if you want to control the mind, you have to meditate on the lotus feet of the Lord. No, chanting and engaging in devotional service, all these things are going to work definitely, but this is something which is consistently mentioned by the acharyas in many places, and also it's supported by many wonderful shlokas, like Amrish Maharaj's pastimes and things like that. And I had put this thing in this one, like I had gone to an yoga school, like for recuperating from my back pain, some time back. So, and like there in that college, like no other students also study. So I happened to interact with one boy, and then we happened to preach to him. So, and like this particular formula was put, like meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord. So I sent one picture of the lotus feet of the Lord, and I asked him to do all the detailed meditation and things like that. And then he was a Mayavadi, like Kattar Mayavadi. He didn't become devotee. So, but then after a few days, I asked him, like, no, what's the effect? He told, like, no, it's really very amazing, but I'm not sure whether I'll be able to maintain this experience. So I told, like, no, you're a Mayavadi, you should like become a devotee, then you'll be able to maintain this experience. So it's so powerful. It's very powerful. Meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord, offering service to the lotus feet of the Lord, seeing the decorations, or the pile, of the lotus feet of the Lord, or the flowers that are offered, and the tulsi leaves that are stuck to the lotus feet of the Lord, is so very powerful. Actually, just by diligently doing that, so one can actually bring this, one can actually, by the grace of the Lord, of course, it is not that again brute force doesn't work. So throughout all this while, like, we should actually offer prayer that I'm not qualified to do this, but then it's your lotus feet is transcendental. I am completely material. So why should I get this opportunity to meditate on your lotus feet? So, but still, you are very merciful that you have allowed me to meditate on your lotus feet. So I'm very grateful to you. So gratitude, and then prayer. So prayer is that, and yeah, another thing in the lotus feet of the Lord is, who is the Sambandha Vigraha? Madan Mohan, right? And what is he supposed to do? What is he supposed to do? Pranam mantra. Remember Madan Mohan Pranam mantra? Jayatam Surato Pangor Mama Manda Matir Gati. No, Manda Mati, my mind is not controlled, right? So my mind is filled with all material sense gratification. So Matsarvasa Padam Bojo Radha Madana Mohan. Right? So it's like, Madan Mohan is the one who is supposed to deliver our mind and give us the proper sambandha. Sambandha is like the mind is part and parcel of the Lord, and it should be engaged in the service of the Lord. Why it should be engaged with materialistic thoughts, right? So, and how do we achieve that? By meditating on the lotus feet, of the Lord, right? So this is also a very amazing point. I just so this is like analytical brain trying to connect various things. So anyways, so Madan Mohan's lotus feet is everything, for me, to deliver myself, deliver my mind from this material mire, right? So in this way, meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord is a very powerful process, for bringing the mind under control. So we should offer prayer, we should render service. What we are doing, like everywhere, this formula has to be applied. So meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord, why am I doing? It is for the service of the Lord. And if the Lord is pleased, and if he asks, what should I want? So I will say, please remove this materialistic thoughts. This mind belongs to you. Please engage this mind in your service, right? So that's what I want. So this is the prayer. And then the Lord has the prerogative to sanction the prayer, right? So through this process, we will be able to control the mind, right? So this is the process that is mentioned. It's like I got distracted. No, what's this one? I answered your question, Pooh. You forgot the question also. Yeah, chale. Question भी बोल के answer भी बोल के. Yeah, it has to be accompanied, right? So Shravana Dasa, and that only gives remembrance, and only if remembrance is there, so then all other processes has value. So otherwise, mechanically, I render service without remembrance of the Lord. No use, right?
In the Srimad Bhagavatam, we see the cases of Dhruv Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, how they were doing Sravana.
So like Dhruva Maharaj, he heard from Narad Muni. And he heard from Narad Muni, no?
It was sufficient for him to get the remembrance.
So he heard from Narad Muni, and what did Narad Muni say? Meditate on Paramatma, and then? So he gave a mantra to chant, and that he is supposed to hear. Right? So constantly keep hearing and hearing and hearing, like, no, he actually went into this one. No, Smaranavastha comes only by Shravanam. No, otherwise Smaranavastha doesn't come. So that's what the Acharyas actually, the Nectar of Instruction purport, you just study that. So it's very, very powerful, one paragraph. If anybody has that, please post it in the group, in our groups. Like, it's very nice actually. The process, like, first stage, Shravanavastha, Shravana Dasha, and then, Smarana Dasha and things like that. It's very nice progression is mentioned. So that's how the process works. It's quite scientific, and that's how the process works. Once a person is established in that way, then after that, if his remembrance is undisturbed, so then if he indulges in any of those other paths, so then that is good. His smaranam is very solid, and then his service like further reminds him of the Lord, and then smaranam is kept alive. So then it is good. So that's why it is mentioned. Once the process of therefore, first one should select a competent this one. When the hearing process is perfect and complete, the other processes become automatically perfect in their own way. First this smaranavastha, at least this level, one person has to come by the process of hearing. After that, he can choose his path. He can choose his stream. So, but then this is basic remembrance of the Lord can be brought about only by hearing.
Is this true for Parikshit Maharaj?
Yeah, like Parikshit Maharaj to like पूरा श्रवणम ही तो था उसका end तक. Parikshit Maharaj को पूरा श्रवणम ही था ना.
Any other case also, like they have first understood, like they have perfected their Sravana,
Yeah.
and they have chosen other mediums of devotional service.
Yeah, Shukadeva Goswami also, like he was Brahman realized kind of this one, and then he heard, and then he went back and he heard, and then whenever he speaks something also, he says like, I've heard from my authorities. Like, he's also not telling that, ऐसे like मैं कीर्तनम में expert होने वाला हूँ, like मैं खाली बोलते जाऊँगा. अरे पहले सुनो तो उसके बाद बोलेंगे, So like that. So that is, Shravanam is essential before Kirtanam. That is for sure. And like Hanuman Sevanam, so he also heard from Surya Dev, he heard this ones, and he also heard from many, many great personalities and things like that. And then he rendered service. And whenever, though Hanuman is exemplified for this one of service, so what does he do? Generally, he keeps chanting the names of the Lord. Chanting and hearing, constantly goes on. So this is one thing which no other, nobody will, relinquish. They will constantly do this thing. So everybody, constant chanting and hearing of the names of the Lord is like established process of devotional service for everyone. Actually, they may have other specialization, but ये specialization तो चाहिए उसके बिना आगे नहीं जा सकते. Next. So this one like the advancement of a devotee, we can see for ourselves, like how are we advancing is the attraction to hear. How much we are attracted to hear the holy name, hear the Bhagavatam. So that actually determines the how well we are doing in the process of Krishna consciousness. Okay. Hare Krishna. Any others? This one, like we have 5 more minutes. Huh? Want to display something? Okay. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.